very least, this is opening up the door for people that are non-citizens to vote. And it seems like they're confirming that non-citizens with this driver's license can vote.
That's a clip from Joe Rogan, one of the most popular podcasters in the world, talking about a recent legislative hearing in our state, Minnesota, that was talking about potential election fraud. So that type of clip from that podcast has been making its rounds on social media, with conservatives now alleging our state allows non-citizens to vote. But that's not exactly the case, as Danny found out. The answer is a lot more complicated.
Good morning, everyone.
Last week, the House Fraud Prevention Committee invited Secretary of State Steve Simon's office to testify about election integrity.
It's an honor to be with you.
During the hearing, Republican lawmakers questioned whether a non-citizen could obtain ID under the state's driver's license for all law, which took effect in 2023, and use that to register same day and vote.
Because we give driver's licenses to anyone in the state, they can vote.
It is a felony for a non-citizen to register or vote in a Minnesota election. State Elections Director Paul Winnell testified that someone using a driver's license to register under false pretenses could be flagged and referred to law enforcement, although that would happen after a ballot was submitted.
It is the other elements of being eligible to vote that the voter is attesting to and certifying at the time that they're registering and when they are casting a ballot.
Thank you. So the answer to my question is yes.
Parts of this exchange hit social media and then the Joe Rogan show last week.
Okay, Minnesota Elections confirms non-citizens can vote with driver's licenses.
In response, Secretary of State Simon has repeatedly emphasized that non-citizens are ineligible to vote.
And in the case of citizenship, not only is it a felony, it is a deportable felony and a permanent bar to citizenship.
According to Simon, Minnesota can flag illegal voting by cross-referencing information at the state and county level.
So it's two layers of potential review across multiple different issue areas: Social Security, death indexes, immigration-related information that we're getting from law enforcement.
Still, Republican Representative Walter Hudson questioned the vulnerabilities in the overall system, given that illegal voting may not be flagged until after the fact.
They perjured themselves, great. But the ballot that they cast still counted, correct?
While the vote would count, a study done by University of St. Thomas law professor Virgil Wiebe found there were only 3 convictions of non-citizens voting in Minnesota between 2015 and 2024, out of 13.4 million votes cast.
That means there are probably a handful more, but there's certainly no systematic effort to vote en masse by non-citizens.
And not only could a non-citizen get deported, Jana, for trying to vote, they could also be permanently banned from being naturalized, seeking U.S. citizenship in the future. So there are deterrents in the law.
Huge deterrents. It would seem quite a leap to say a person would do this with that much at risk. And again, we saw 3 instances in 9 years.
Mm-hmm. 3 instances of convictions related to, these were green card holders, so actually lawfully here, but they were green card holders, ineligible to vote, and were convicted out of, about 13 million total votes cast. Those are just the convictions. You know, if other things weren't caught, we certainly wouldn't know about that, but those were just the convictions.
Okay, thanks so much, Danny. We appreciate the clarity on